to another episode of Let's See Plants. I'm your host, KD, and today we have a special guest. She's an entrepreneur, she's a mother, and she's a chef. Welcome, Chef Bria. How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, for sure. Let's get straight to it. So, what was your wake-up call to get your health in order?
I would say my main wake-up call was just overall seeing my parents' health growing up.
Okay.
And just getting older and just realizing, like, we truly are what we eat. So, my mom had diabetes. She was diagnosed about 7 years ago, kind of before I started my business. And that was really tough. Like, I don't think that she was even aware that she could get diabetes or, we just not thinking as when we're getting older. Like, I feel like all the things start to come out about your health the older that we get. So when we found that out, I was a little devastated. I'm just like, do you got to take insulin or whatever? She's like, no, I don't. So
What's she like type 1? What's that?
yeah, I always forget the types, but she's the one that doesn't have to take insulin.
I don't know that one.
I forget the types, but she doesn't have to take insulin. So that was really just a wake-up call for me in the beginning. Like I said, this was before I even started my business, and I'm just like, wow, we got to like start eating a little better.
Okay. Now, I know you we had spoken, you mentioned about your dad having a stroke, right?
Yes.
So like when you found out, can you take me during that time? Like where were you and what were you thinking when you found out about that news?
So this was also before, this was like kind of in the beginning stages of my business in 2017. I was working at a regular job at the time, and I got a phone call. I was also working in the kitchen at a nursing home, and my grandmother called me, which is my dad's mom. They all live in Mississippi, and I would talk to my dad from time to time and my family and relatives in Mississippi, but I did get that call, and they were saying like, oh, your dad had another stroke. Now, this is his second stroke, yes, that he had. So he had one like maybe 2 years prior to that, and he had to go to the hospital, but this second time was like detrimental. And so he was at work when he had his stroke. He was just working like any other day, and he was on the job and he just fell out. In Mississippi, it's like super rural, so like it's no ambulance up the street, so they had to get a helicopter and fly him to the hospital.
Dang.
And they called me and told me like, yeah, he's kind of been unresponsive. We're hoping that he wakes up. And I'm just thinking like, all right, maybe it'll just be for a couple of days, but then days turned to months.
Oh wow.
Yeah, weeks, months. It was a long time. So
if you can remember, do you know how many months?
He was in the hospital.
Yeah, how many months?
About 6 months.
So he was unresponsive for 6 months?
Yes. So we were just praying. My stepmom was down there. She was going to the hospital. And I actually remember that I was going to take a drive down there because I drove to Mississippi before, but I was actually going to take a drive down there with my friend to see him. And something happened to my car that day. So I wasn't able to make it. I was so hurt. And I'm just like, why is this happening right now? Because like I said, my dad lives in Mississippi, so I haven't seen him in a couple of years. But like something was just telling me like, man, you should go down there and see your pops.
So like, so what was your emotions when you found out the second time about him having a stroke?
I was scared because like nobody wants to lose a parent, especially I was barely turning 30 or I was like 29. So I was still young. I'm just like, where I was just at, I'm really just about to have one parent. So I was a little sad, but I was still hopeful and just praying because I'm just like, there's no way. But it just made me think like, my dad, to be honest, he did smoke and drink a lot in his younger days. Yes. So I know that, eventually that stuff catches up to you.
Yeah, for sure.
But still all in all, I still had faith. But I was a little devastated. Like I was at work, still trying to get through it.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's like these jobs don't really be caring if you're grieving or not. So I was already mentally preparing myself to lose him, but I was still praying for the best.
Yeah, no, definitely. That's a tough position to be in, finding out that devastating news. And I know you mentioned to me that they wanted to pull the plug.
Yeah, so he was on life support. After so many months of being unresponsive, they put you on life support.
And how old is he?
He is at that time, I believe he was like only 54.
Okay.
So he wasn't that old. No, he was not that old. 54, just working. He worked his whole life. But yeah, after so many months of being unresponsive, they put you on life support because he was no longer breathing on his own, eating on his own. He had a feeding tube. So we were just trying to hold on. My stepmom was sending me pictures. He lost so much weight just from being, unresponsive. Obviously, he's not eating good. So just seeing them pictures, I'm just like, oh my God, this doesn't even look like my dad. It's like total transformation compared to what I had seen before. So they did say that they were going to pull the plug. I just remember being at work again. And I was like, all right, I'm just mentally preparing myself like that's going to be it. I cried, I grieved. I honestly thought that he was going to be done. He was going to pass away. So I already had told my job, like, yeah, I lost my father.
Oh, damn.
I already told them. Then tell me why, like, they pulled the plug and he did not pass away.
Oh, wow.
So they was like, he's breathing more, like, he's like breathing on his own and his eyes are kind of like moving. Like they're basically saying he was becoming more responsive. I don't know the details on what they did with that. Like, how was that even possible? Because I was just under the assumption that once the plug is pulled, that's it. But he did a 360, so slowly he started regaining consciousness and coming back. He was able to move his arm. I remember my stepmom sending me a video of him just moving his arm. Like that was just a big step for him to even be moving himself.
It is.
So just took it day by day, and then eventually he went to rehab.
So looking back, like, do you think the medical system gave up on him too quickly?
I want to say yes, but at the end of the day, it's really our choice, and he didn't have anything in writing, which is important, like saying that if I'm ever in that situation, pull the plug or let me live. Like there was nothing. It was kind of up to us to decide that really my stepmom, because that's his wife. So she did hold on as long as she could, but nobody wants to keep seeing somebody unresponsive. Like, eventually, it's just going to be like, all right. But I feel like the medical team did try to do as much as they could, but they were just suggesting, like, at some moment, you might want to pull the plug because he's not getting any better. And then that's when she made the decision, but it ended up being a turnaround. Like, all our prayers worked. Now, after he went to rehab, he was not able to talk. He still has a speech impediment right now, and he had to really go through therapy to learn how to walk again. So now he doesn't work. And, I just believe that all of that just plays a part into it going back to our health. You know what I'm saying? He did smoke and drink, but he did not eat the best either. They live in the country, so they eating fried stuff left and right down there.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I just hope, our community can do better as far as like getting life insurance and stuff like that. 'Cause, when my dad passed away, he didn't have life insurance. He had it, but he had retired. For whatever reason, he removed it. So when he died, like, it was tough for us to even try to bury him.
Wow.
But luckily, he went to the military, so his benefits paid at least a little bit. But
Okay.
yeah, but nah, that was a hassle. So I mean, you don't mind me asking, does he got insurance now?
Oh, yeah, he got insurance now. My stepmom made sure of that he has some insurance now.
Yeah, it's good.
But, it's harder when you get a little older because sometimes they base it off your medical history and they might not be trying to give you insurance because you had, strokes and this and that. So,
Yeah.
he does have something now. But, yeah, like you said, it's important to just have those things in place because it's already hard enough to grieve. Now we have to figure out how we're going to pay for you to bury you the right way.
Right.
So thank God we didn't have to go through any of that. But, it's just always something on my mind. And I just, think about my mom, like, okay, make sure you got everything in order.
No, for real. No, for real. And I want to ask you this because, like, I'm super close with my dad, and like, I don't know how I was able to deal with that in that moment during that time. But for you, you found out your dad was like on life support, and you were still going to work. How did you take care of your mental?
I just try my best to keep myself busy. I know that's probably cliche, but just trying to keep myself busy. I'm gonna be more sad at home, so I'm like, let me just go to work. But I did think about it throughout the day, and to be honest, I'm more closer with my mom than my dad, so it just was making me think about my mom even more. Like, ooh, I just like if it was my mom, I probably would not even have went to work. But since it was just my dad, and I'm just like, all right, I'm just steady having faith. It was just a little bit easier to not think about it as much when I stayed busy. So that was the best thing I could have did at that time. I couldn't immediately go see him.
No, okay, okay.
Okay.
Now you say you more closer with your mom than your pops, which I can understand. I can relate to that part, but because
Only
I
because we grew up like my mom, we really mostly lived with her until my dad went to Mississippi. They were married and they got a divorce.
oh
Yeah, so then he went to Mississippi with his family. Then she stayed up here in Chicago with me and my brother, and then we just visited every summer
okay.
as kids.
No, because it's like I'm close with both my parents, but I feel like I'm more a little closer with my dad because I live with my dad. Like,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? So I'm saying to say is that like when my dad passed away, it helped me to get closer with my mom. So what I want to ask is, when that happened with your dad, did it help you get closer to him?
It did. It did. I honestly feel like it made him get closer to me because
Oh.
I would be the one, like, just checking in and stuff, which is fine, calling. Before this all even happened, we would talk time to time. But ever since then, he's been like way more active. He actually came up to Chicago like 2 years ago for Thanksgiving for the first time.
Okay.
And he was able to meet his grandson, which is my son. So just him taking that step, it was challenging because can't talk, you know what I'm saying? He's on disability and stuff, but he still came because I feel like in his mind, like he just knows like family is really important. Like let me be closer to my daughter.
Yeah.
It sucks that I have to be at this time, but
Yeah.
and I'm receptive. So if you want to be closer, have a nice relationship, like, what I'm saying, get more into them, I'm totally down for that. I'm not like, well, you weren't there for this and that.
Yeah.
Like the past is the past. Because it wasn't nothing detrimental. When parents separate, it's not nothing bad on me. Like I'm looking at him no type of way. I'm just like, well, he just is in a whole nother state. So we don't talk as much.
Yeah, that's, I can relate because my dad and my parents got a divorce when I was like in my senior year in high school.
Okay.
But the difference is, like, my dad didn't like move to a different state. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Okay.
no, I know how that can be with the divorce. And man, speaking of your mom, now when she found out she was like diabetic, was she, was open to changing the way she ate at first? Like,
Yeah.
was she difficult? Was she being difficult at first?
No, she wasn't being difficult because once she got that diagnosis, I feel like it clicked in her head, like, oh, I gotta do better. Like, she took a look in the mirror and was like, yeah, I'm a little bit too overweight. Like, it just snapped her back into reality, So she did start eating healthier, and that's around the time that I had my son. So she always says, like, she's grateful that I had him around that time because it just made her more active, like, and it just made her concentrate more on her health. Like, yeah, she's living for her kids, but now she have a grandson, this brand new baby, and she wants to be the best that she can for him too.
It'd be like that,
Yeah.
the first grandchild would be like,
Yes.
and be like that. So like, what was the meals that you created for her to help her with her diabetes?
Okay, so a lot of sweet potatoes, a lot of less processed foods, or I'm thinking of the word like unrefined carbs. So like sweet potatoes, brown rice. I know my mom really loved French fries. She loved peeling some potatoes and making French fries herself. She loved root beer floats and all of that. She had to cut all of that out. And so this is kind of when I started cooking more healthy meals at home. Like my mom would always cook, but then I started kind of taking over. So I started going to the store a little bit, buying brown rice, buying like chickpea pastas, just things that, I'm just doing a little research, like what can she really eat? Because she was just saying like, it feels like I can't eat anything. And I'm like, let me see, like what I can come up with. So just more vegetables. And if she sees me eating it, it just encourages her to want to eat it. Like, well, Bree's not over there drinking root beer floats. Let me stop.
Right.
She's seeing like how in shape I am, and you know what I'm saying. It's just like encouraging her.
So so the foods you were giving her, do you see the improvement?
Yes, yes. So once I got deep into my business, I was fully doing meal preps. I was giving her meal preps for free just because I wanted her to eat healthy. I don't want her to have no excuse. No, you're getting these meals, and she was totally happy with it. She lowered her A1C level, which was extremely high. I forgot the numbers, but she was able to lower it when she went back to the doctor. They told her like, "Oh, the A1C is improving." At first she had to be on like 2 or 3 medications. Now she's only on 1. So just gradual changes over time. Cause like she was telling me like the having diabetes like messing with her vision. She couldn't really see sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like driving. So like all of that had disappeared.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. 'Cause, yeah. Because, my dad, he was a diabetic. He was type 1. And I seen how it affected him. So I don't know if it is was for women, but for men, like my dad had a hard time holding his pee. For men too, like it messes with a man's sex drive. Then too, like you gotta get certain limbs cut off.
Okay. Oh, that
Like legs, like yeah, like you know what I'm saying? It depends on how bad it is.
Yes.
My grandfather, he was a diabetic. So that made me like not wanna, follow in their footsteps. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, no, that's dope. And I wanna ask too, because like I had this problem with my dad. He'll be like so stubborn when it come down to like taking medicine. Cause I'll be showing him I take him like, nah, you don't have to take medicine. But I realize it's like that with older people. And what I want to ask you is, why do you think older generations are so loyal to doctors and prescriptions?
I want to say it's just because that's what they were introduced to.
Yeah.
Just growing up, like they just really don't know any better, and you're gonna continue to do what you're used to unless like somebody else come along and motivates you to stop or change. So we can't knock them for that. It's just ignorance. They just don't know. And once you become so reliable on something and it seems to be working, like it's like why change it? Why stop it? Like I don't want my mom to take any medicine, but that's just what she wants to do because she knows like it's helping her. But we know genuinely like you don't have to do that. Like look into herbs, look into everything. It's like, well, I can't take all these herbs. Like we do got to do our research on herbs, so it's just a little comeback. So I'm just like, all I can do is just try my best to implement gradual changes. I'm sure the medicine does help to a certain extent, but to be like on no medicine would just be amazing.
Yeah, like I remember because I told my dad he didn't want to get like some a bottle of cranberry juice.
Okay.
And I'm like, Dad, that's that's bad for you. Gotta look at the sugar. Then he got to come back. What the doctor said, it makes me what he would say, it would flushes me out or something like that. He would say like, nah, like you gonna drink some natural juice, like stuff like that.
Natural cranberry juice.
Yeah. No, older folks definitely comebacks. So what I want to ask is like, if your mom fully gave up medicine and learned into healing foods, what kind of transformation do you believe could happen?
I think that she would be way more energized.
I agree.
And I want to say she's really stressed now, but like it would just take a lot off of her worrying about going to get her prescription and, trying to keep up with all these medicines. So I feel like she would definitely probably lose even more weight. Her appetite would probably crave even more healthier foods.
I agree to that.
And because she drinks tea all the time on a regular, so I'm just trying to figure out now to sneak some like herbal teas in there. Like she likes green tea and stuff like that. But I just think like mentally, she would just feel so much better because she would not have to rely on that medicine.
No, I agree to that. Yeah, I agree to that. And like, because people don't understand, like, food is medicine, your kitchen is your medicine. You can, heal your own. But sometimes people, I don't know, people just, like you said, just lack of knowledge. Stuck in their ways too. Even with people around our age, they be kind of like stuck in their ways.
Yeah.
Now, and what I want to ask is, like, what do you say to people who think food can't replace medicine?
That's tough. I would just tell them to give it a try. That's the best I could tell them because you can't keep trying to, I forgot the phrase, beat a dead horse with something, but it's like you can only say so much. So I would just tell them to give it a try and show them, the research that I have done.
Yeah.
And, I've been blessed to not be on any medication. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Due to the way I eat. I eat perfectly now, but, I am not, I have no health problems or anything like that. So
yeah.
I would just honestly tell them just to give it a try and see how your body feels, and don't be afraid. Like, they just be so afraid to take a break. Like, if I don't take my medicine, I'm gonna.
Right.
But, I would just tell them just give it a try.
Definitely. I agree to that. Because, some people I be around with, like, I be debating with them about, different things where they be like, well, how can you get your protein if you get this and that? It's just like, well, you got to try. So some people don't be, willing to try or willing to listen.
The facts, like this many amounts of protein and chickpeas, and then I hear that you don't even really need protein like that, like as much as people are saying that we're needing. Really not.
Yeah.
It's really not needed.
Yeah, no, I agree. And now, what I want to ask is, since you seen both of your parents, not take care of their health, so what are you doing to take care of your health now?
So right now, I'm real big on staying active. So I love to find activities that keep me active, and moving my body. So whether it's yoga or going to the gym, jumping rope, just physical activities, dance classes, like things I like to do things like that, and it helps with my mental too because I'm not thinking about work, and I'm just being able to like just be in my body and be in the moment and just appreciate that.
Wait, so you got rhythm?
I do. I was actually on the dance team in college and in high school.
What?
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I ain't got no rhythm.
Yep.
Yeah, I dance like a 3-year-old white baby. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I can't even dance in my life. But so like, how's your diet?
So right now, I'm implementing way more plant-based foods into my diet than more than ever. When I first started cooking, I was not doing that. I kind of got the idea from my clients requesting like, "Do you do plant-based foods?" And this was in the beginning stages of my meal prep business, like taking off. And I'm just like, I don't, but let me do research because a lot of people are asking, like, do I do plant-based or where are some good ideas? They're looking at me because I'm expertise in the chef, but I wasn't like an expert in plant-based foods at that time. So I started doing more research. Actually, some of my clients were giving me ideas like, hey, you should try this type of sausage, or you should try to use this to make this. And I'm just like, all right, I'm open-minded. I'm trying new things. I'm like, this is actually good and it's healthy. Let me throw this on the menu. Let me learn more and just create more with it. So now I'm just incorporating more plant-based foods into my diet. I do still eat seafood, but I'm just working my way to get that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to eventually do like a whole detox parasite cleanse. Like I feel like I don't even want to crave fish, but sometimes it's just there.
It'd be like that.
Yeah, so but I'm just taking it a day at a time. Like I'm not going cold turkey. I would not tell nobody to do that. Just start eliminating certain things out your diet until you get where you want to be.
Yeah, no, I agree. Because when I had switched my diet, because I've been plant-based. Well, I ain't gonna say I've been plant-based. I've been vegan for 5 years, but I wasn't in on plant-based foods.
Okay.
I was in a lot of Beyond Meat and Impossible Meat, and when I was making that transition, I was still eating on seafood. I was eating a lot of crab legs. Yeah.
Okay. See, that's my week.
Yeah, I was killing that with the sauce, with the potatoes.
Right.
Yeah, man. But yeah. So so I had ended up stop doing that, and so I start focusing on more plant-based with the chickpeas and mushrooms and stuff like that. So I'm bringing all that up to say just really to take your time. If you still eating on seafood, it's fine. Well, you'll eventually stop. But I was gonna get off topic. But but now like, what's your son? How old is your son?
My son is 8.
Okay, so like, is he like? Have you tried any plant-based? So how did he react?
He have. So I made him some vegan fish sticks out of hearts of palm. He really loved those. And me and him actually did a video together, and we posted it on my social media. I wanted to include him like in the kitchen with me, showing him what I make. So he actually loved it. I was so shocked because he's such a picky eater.
Okay.
But with him going to school, that's why I'm like, you gotta do your research on these schools too, because when they're in that environment, they're bound to eat whatever. Yeah. So I'm glad that he goes to a private school now. I'm able to make him lunch every day. Okay. So, and it's not no fancy stuff. I mean, it might just be peanut butter and jelly, but, something away from like chicken, trying to just ease him off of that. I'll give him some Impossible chicken nuggets because he's still a kid. So I want him to still like it.
That's good.
So I'll throw that in there. Sometimes we'll go to Whole Foods, get him a vegan pizza. He won't even know the difference because he loves pizza.
Yeah, because see, that's my concern. I don't have any children, but I'm like, I don't want them to eat certain foods. But then again, I'll be telling myself like, okay, are they missing out if I don't, if they can't experience, McDonald's or, certain candy, you know what I'm saying? Because I still want them to feel like a kid, So that's why I'm like, then too, like, damn, it's just them going to school. Like, okay, how am I able to make sure they don't eat certain stuff? But yeah, no, definitely, yeah.
Packing their lunch. I would just say get them started early.
Oh,
Because when I first had my son, I was not really like into plant-based yet. But I wish I was, because then I could have just started him off right away, you
okay.
know. But it's hard because then you got to figure out like what milk to give, and if they don't want almond milk, like as a baby, all you hear is Enfamil, and you know it's just so much out here. They're not really putting anything out here like for when you first have a baby, like what should they drink? Like they can't drink water for a certain amount of time. So it's just like a lot about doing your research and things like that.
Right.
But I would just say, start them as soon as you can because it will be easier when they get a little older.
I agree. Now, couple of last questions. Before we switch topics. What are you doing to keep your son active? Because most kids that I see be a little overweight. Not trying to bash no kids, but these parents don't make sure their kids is active. They be all, like I said, overweight. So you don't mind sharing what are you doing to make sure your son is, they active?
Let them go outside. Let him go outside. Even if he just want to run around, that's totally fine. He have a bike, he have a scooter, we have a Yorkie, so they'll go outside and play around. I put him in karate for a short amount of time. Yeah, he didn't really care for it, but we tried it. We tried it. So, now I'm just looking for other things, asking him like what other sports would you like to do? We say he's interested in soccer. And just me being active with them, even if it's just going to Sky Zone, we're jumping around, we running around, so things like that, it don't take much to keep a kid active. Just, you got to be doing it with them sometimes too.
I agree. I agree 100%. And by you, you know, by him seeing you doing that, it makes him want to do that. And he get older, then he'll know, okay, what to do.
Yeah.
He'll keep having that like mindset if he, don't like his weight. I don't know, because some kids are different. So for me, it's like I was active at one point, but then I stopped. Then I gained weight. I ain't like it because I gained my weight in my hips. So I'm like, yeah, I wasn't digging that. So
Okay.
yeah, so like I went back to what I remember. It's like, okay, let me work out because I used to work out with my dad in the past. So I go back. I went back to what I remember.
Okay.
So I remember a woman had told me this. Hold on, I got my phone. Wait. She had said, 'cause she had texted to me the other day. Hold on, my bad. She said, exercise is the fountain of youth. So what she's saying is that if you start your kids early, working out, so like not even working out, but keeping them active, it's always gonna be with them. So yeah.
Yeah, and by him seeing me work out, like he'll come, like he's been to workouts with me before. When I used to work out with personal trainers, he would just come with me. Just him being there and seeing it. So you just got to be creative too. Like he loved playing Simon Says, so I'll be like, all right, Simon Says do 20 jumping jacks, and he'll do it. Like I'm like Simon Says run around 5 times outside, like he will do it. So you just got to make it fun and like. He likes the gym at school. Like he likes to be active. He can run on the track. Like he likes being active.
And by you being active, you probably mentioned this already. I'm probably ask you again. Like, how do you feel mentally after was so
Mentally,
active?
I feel good. I feel great. Like I feel like I'm just truly rewarding my body. I feel like sometimes we forget to do that because we're just always on the move, just trying to get stuff done. But like, what have you really done physically for your body? You know what I'm saying? To make you mentally feel good. So I feel great. I feel like I have more clarity when I'm able to release myself in like exercise and physical activities, especially like yoga. I started taking this aerial fitness yoga where you're like on this fabric and you're like stretching. It's more like mellow, because I did try the treadmill and stuff. I'm just like, I don't think that's for me. I'm more like a Pilates girl, like yoga type of thing. So you just got to find what really works for you. It's to get that mental clarity. So that's what helps me. I feel like I can think better. I can move around better. I can go to sleep decent.
Okay. And that's good that you still try to find ways that work for you. Because most people they'll just give up, like, and then I applaud you just because, you running your business and you got to, being a mother and like you still find a way to take care of your health. I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
No, that's
it's important because I'll tell people like you can work, but like if you not taking care of your health, like how are you gonna run your business?
Yeah.
You might have people to run it for you, but it's still not gonna be the same. And
I agree.
I heard this one quote. It said like I forgot how it go, but it's like you don't have any problems till you have a health problem or something like that. I mean, it's like that's so deep. Like
It is. That's deep.
like you might have a whole bunch of problems in the business, but that's nothing compared to when you got that one health problem. Now you got to sit down,
Yeah.
can't do anything.
Yeah, like they say, your health is your wealth. I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
No, definitely, definitely. So now I gotta ask you the $1,000,000 question. What inspired you to open Taste of Bria?
Okay, so a lot of things inspire me. Number one, the most important thing was to be like my passion to create. I'm not even gonna say passion to cook. My passion to create. So I'm always into dancing or anything that I can use my creativity.
Oh, so you got a creative mind.
I do. So I paint. I painted that over there. Like I got paintings at home and stuff.
Okay.
So food is just another way to express my creativity, and it actually comes natural to me. And I love plating things up, and I just love like combining different flavors and just seeing the outcome of it, seeing other people appreciate it. So that was the number one thing. And then also, well, like we spoke about my family, them seeing their health and how challenging it was, it just made me want to put like a little twist on it. Like, okay, I can cook, but it can be healthy and still look good and taste good.
Okay, and you started this what 2018?
2018, it was officially when I got my LLC, because I was just working from home. I really was kind of doing it in 2017. My mom was like, you need to get some paperwork. You need to, because she just kept seeing me like have more meals I'm doing at home. And she's like, all right, you need to make this official. So I went ahead and did that in 2018. And then I've been up in brick and mortar for 4 years, going on 5.
So how was you? So you started way before the pandemic.
Yes.
So when the pandemic happened, how did it affect you and what made you keep going?
Okay. I feel like during that pandemic was really what gave me that push to keep going, because a lot of stores and a lot of restaurants were actually closing down. And here I am about to expand into my first location at that time. And we were just focusing on healthy eating. We have a delivery service. We deliver, so you don't even have to leave your house. You don't have to go to the store. So I feel like that picked up, like COVID, like made our business thrive, because people like couldn't go to the restaurants. Like Uber wasn't even delivering like that. And people didn't even want those third party deliveries because of all the stuff. People got masks on. Like it was a lot. So, but we were not doing that. We still were making healthy meals, having them delivered. We're still going to the store full operation. And I already had it in my mind that when I got my first location that I did not want it to be like sit down, serve type of thing. I kind of wanted it to be like quick and convenient, but not sacrificing the health and the flavor of it. So that was already my concept before COVID came. And I'm like, oh yes, like I'm so glad I'm already setting this up, because I don't got to worry about servers. I don't got to worry about people having a vaccine card to come eat. Like we're still able to provide them meals. This is something that people needed at that time.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people gained weight during COVID because they couldn't go to the gym. They really couldn't go to the store like that. People just, it was just a lot. So I was just grateful that we were able to still provide like healthy meals during that time.
Yeah, it's good. And a lot of a lot of business either failed or either grew bigger when COVID came. And for you to keep going, that right there says a lot about yourself. Yeah, no, I see. You got that hustler mentality.
Yes.
I can dig that. I can dig that. And before I even ask you this question, like, I want to let people know who's listening. Like, I found you on Facebook.
Okay.
I think like a sponsor, like whatever. I came out of town. I came from Miami, and it caught my eye of the food you was making. Like, I think I said like chickpeas and mushrooms. It looked very appealing. So like, I'm saying that to say is just that like, what? Because your restaurant is different. I'm not saying like, there's no other restaurants that doesn't have the same thing you have. But like most restaurants be focused on like the vegan processed food.
Okay, right.
You know what I'm saying? But your food's not really like that. Your menu on your food's not like that. What is like the tissues behind that? And do you mind me asking?
So I chose to be different. I like to be different. So if I see a lot of people doing the same things, like I'm just like, all right, what can I do that's different from that to make me stand out? Or, so that's when I reverted to the mushrooms and chickpea pastas and things like that. And a lot of my clients that were coming to me asking me about vegan food, they were not asking for Beyond Burgers or Impossible. They were just like, do you know how to make like chickpea pasta? Do you know how to make like hummus? And like they were just asking for natural things. They were nowhere near asking for like, can I just get some vegan tacos with that meat, whatever? Like they was not asking that. So I was already put on in that mindset. Like I'm not even looking for that stuff at all. I'm learning how to make burgers from scratch. I'm learning how to make certain meats from scratch or other meat alternatives. So that didn't even pop in my mind to use Beyond or Impossible at that time, which is crazy.
Okay.
And I started seeing a lot of other restaurants do it, but they were already like in the process. Like I'm just like, nah. Once I saw that it was becoming a thing, I'm like, oh, I'm never doing this.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in the category. Like, no shade to anybody that do that, but like the people that were coming to me wanted real food already. So that was the intention behind it. So, and they appreciate that. People still to this day come and they're just like, I really appreciate that you guys have like a real menu and real food, like mushrooms and
Yeah.
and parts of palm and things like that.
Yeah, because like I said, a lot of that Beyond Me stuff, and that wasn't good. And I was in that for like 5 years.
Wow.
And yeah, and like I seen the effects it had on my body, and me just relearning and doing the research, and me knowing like I need more chickpeas, I need more mushrooms. In Milwaukee, where I'm from, like they don't got that. They got a lot of vegan processed restaurants. So yeah, when I saw that caught my yeah, yeah. And I want to ask, like, do you come up with the items? I'll tell you what I'm wrong. Are you the one who creating the items on the menu? If I'm saying that right?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. So I love to take like people's regular favorites, like the Bria tacos. That was like a thing in California made with goat meat and like the dipping tacos. I like to take like people's favorites sometimes and kind of just veganize it.
Yeah.
Because it's just taking out a little ingredient and just putting something else in and it could still be vegan.
Yeah, because I want to say like my favorite. I mean, I ain't had the all, but so far that Alfredo. Correct me if I'm wrong. That jerk mushroom.
Yeah, jerk mushroom, Alfredo.
Oh yeah. If y'all haven't tried that, y'all need to try it. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm like, yeah. No. Yeah. You definitely put your foot in that one.
And everybody loved Alfredo. So
Yeah.
once I figured out how to create the cream sauce, I'm like, oh yeah, this gonna be good. And everybody loved jerk too.
Yeah, and that's my first time eating a plant-based Alfredo.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was really good. I was really impressed. Really impressed. So like one of the things you mentioned to me when you started your business, you said you mentioned trying to do everything yourself at first. What was that experience like, and what did it teach you?
It was pretty tough. Like this was in the beginning stages, still kind of my business. When I first got into a shared commercial space, I was still working by myself. So it was tough. Like I didn't realize when I needed more help until I started making a lot of mistakes. Like I started getting busier and I'm like, oh, this is good. I'm getting more clients. But now I'm just like, oh, I keep making mistakes. Like I'm forgetting stuff or stuff's not up to par how it should be. Because when you're cooking like for a small amount of people, of course everything's gonna be nice and perfect. When we start growing and you know what I'm saying, it's more responsibilities that you have to do within.
Yeah.
Sorry that phone.
No, you good.
It's tough. So we could wait till it stops. Are you okay? So once I started making so many mistakes, I'm just like, all right, I need an extra pair of hands in here. So I hired one person, and then they were helping me for quite some time, and then I eventually hired a driver. Because before I was cooking, delivering, going to the store, doing all of that.
Damn. So yeah, everything.
And I'm just like, I can't, I don't got time. How I'm gonna grow? Like I want to have more clients, but I can only do so many a day. Then I was still kind of working a job too. Before I got in the commercial kitchen, I was still working my regular job in the kitchen. So I was like trying to balance that out. And it just got to the point where I was at my restaurant in the nursing home. I mean, in the kitchen in the nursing home, and I would like bring my meal prep stuff there and be prepping on the job. Because I could work by myself. Like, it was just me and the chef. So he'll just leave me in the kitchen by myself, and I'm like, I'm finna do my clients' meal preps.
No, that's smart. So what made you, I should have been actually this. What made you, no, I'm tired of working 9 to 5. I want to work for myself. What made you, develop that mindset?
Because I realized, like, these jobs out here, not all jobs, but, like, they don't take you serious or your talent, nor do they show appreciation for it. And so here I am. I went to school. I got some experience under my belt. And I'm like, I want to be in the kitchen. Like, I want to be really cooking. But I feel like at that time, being a female in the industry was just, like, looked down upon. Like, they don't see you as, like, a leader in the kitchen, or they just want to put you on the easy stuff like salads and pastries. Like, I'm like, I didn't go to school to do salads. And I was just noticing that in like certain restaurants, like, I have this experience, like, put me on the grill, put me on saute. They would just play with my time. So this one job I remember, I came in and they had like switched my role and they was just like, oh, today you're gonna be like folding napkins because somebody else is like on this station that you're doing. And I'm like, folding napkins. And I was just so blue. That was my last day. But luckily, I already had my clientele and stuff. Like, I was already thinking, like, soon I'm going to have to quit my job. So that was just a reason. It's probably sound petty, but I'm just like, I ain't got time for this no more.
No, I believe what it was you why you telling me. Like I believe that was like a wake up call.
Yes.
Yeah, and then too, it sounds like you use your 9 to 5 to invest into your business.
Absolutely.
That's smart.
Absolutely. Because I was still getting tax returns and stuff. I'm just saving all that up. So I had a nice amount saved before I quit, because I'm just like, you still got to have some money before you quit. You still got to buy your inventory and things like that. But yeah, I would just definitely tell people, make sure you got enough saved up because, you're going to have faith that you're going to make sales and this and that, but you don't want to be worrying about that while you're trying to do your craft. So just have a little bit of something to get you started, but the money going to come in, especially if you just go follow your dream.
So, I see you're very passionate about cooking. Now, what made you want to start cooking?
My man is going to start cooking. It just always kind of came naturally to me. I'm gonna say I love to eat, so that's the main thing. I love to eat, and I love to eat stuff a certain way. So if I'm going outside restaurant, I know I can make this myself. Like, it just made me want to start cooking more, and I like just coming up with new recipes and just, like I said, just being creative. So looking at a plate or a pie is like a blank canvas to me. Like, what can I come up with today?
So I want to ask, like, I want to learn how to cook. All right.
Okay.
So anybody that, like myself, want to learn how to cook, what is your suggestions?
I always just say kind of like learn the basics. Like, first find your favorite ingredients that you like to cook with and just kind of build from there. So if you know you love spaghetti, just try to perfect that. Just try to change it up a little bit, add a different vegetable next time or get a different sauce, get a different seasoning and just tweak it out. Try to put a little cheese on it or something to put it in the oven. Like, there's different ways that you can make the same dish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I learned how to make sheet feed mushroom burgers. And I ain't mastered that. I haven't mastered it yet, but I'm still learning, if that makes it.
Okay.
Yeah, I might put too much season, or maybe the season ain't good enough. Or maybe we call that crap, like, it ain't no taste to it.
Okay.
I'm still learning. That's why it's that.
Okay. Yeah, a lot of people have trouble with like the seasonings. So, a lot of people love to get Lawry's because everything is pretty blend together. I'm kind of anti-Lawry's, but I understand, because it's already put together. So if you got to use that, cool. Try to find like the seasoning blends that are already blended together. That way you're not worrying about, how much salt, how much of this to put. Just try to blend. The season is the most important thing.
I agree. And what I want to ask too, and I ask a lot of entrepreneurs is like, were you scared to step in on your own, or your mind's already made up when your job,
I say a little bit of both, but what helped me not be so afraid was that I knew that I could always go back. So I knew I could always go back to a kitchen job. If all else fails, God forbid, I can just go on AB and go get a chef job. But would I be happy with that? No, but I could go get it.
Okay.
I got the degree, I got the experience.
Okay. So what was your biggest I might give up moment, and how did you pursue it?
Overall, or
Just, overall.
Okay. I would probably say that's tough. Like, I guess just the uncertainty. Some weeks, would be like busier than others, and I'm just like, I would honestly say like the first month that I had like the slowest month. Cause like when you first start the business, it's stages. Like when you first start, of course you're going to be getting sales. You're going to be getting all of the publicity or whatever. Like everything's going to be going good. But eventually your business mellows out. And every business got this, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to always be highs. So for my first time experiencing a low, and this was just like a winter season, and it's expected in the restaurant industry, I was just like, what? What is going on? I'm just questioning myself, like, are we doing something wrong? Like, what's happening? But I just learned that was just a slow season. Like it was literally just December, and then when January came, everything took back off because it was a new year and everybody was getting in tune with their health and stuff. So it was just like it was just that one little slow season, and I was just like, I don't know if I could do this. Like maybe I should go back or something. It was just a thought. But I had never experienced that before. I just been on go, steady up, you know. But like I said, all businesses have that moment where you mellow out and you just kind of use that as your guide. So now I know, like, okay, December I can take a vacation. I don't need to worry about if it's, this is just the nature of the business in my industry.
Oh, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. No, that's what's up, and that's good that you have that self awareness, and I'm pretty sure you got things set up and saved up to where for your stuff, so it don't really not gonna affect you.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I could dig. Yeah, I could dig that. So, like, this is one of my last, this is my couple last questions. You have a cooking class, and why is that important to you as running the restaurant?
Okay, I just like to give people the opportunity to learn too, especially from me. I went to school. Everybody might not have the funds to go to school,
Right.
or really the time, but they still want to learn how to cook for themselves or cook healthy. So that's why I'm so big on sharing recipes for free online and putting out my cookbook. I put out a couple books.
Okay.
So, I'm just giving free information. And I think that's really how people gravitate towards me too, because it's like I'm giving out free games sometimes. So if you really want to learn the game, then come and take my class. So, it's just important to share your knowledge, like what they might not know. So like, why not help them out?
Right.
And so I really love just having people come together, learning some new things, and just being able to try it at home and just hearing about it later. Like, yeah, I tried things. Like, thanks to you, I was able to start eating more plant-based. And thanks to you, I know I cook this to my family now.
And that's good because, giving back to the, I could talk. That's good because you're giving back to the community, and like, you might, I don't know, I'm just taking a guess. It could be 30 people that you be helping with the class. But out of that one, like, I feel like you making an impact, you know what I'm saying? And I applaud for that because I don't have that. We don't have that back in Milwaukee that I know of, you know what I'm saying? So that's good that you doing that. When I seen it, I was impressed, like, oh damn, like you teaching these kids how to cook and keeping them out of trouble, and more importantly, like you teaching them like I don't want to say like a trade, but you teaching them like a skill.
Yeah, life skill.
Yeah, that's very important. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how to cook, know how to survive on your own.
Yes.
Yeah. So what age groups you have people in?
So it's my limitations. The age groups that I have done were like teenagers to adults. So when I did the male cooking class, that was so amazing. We did 2 classes with them, and they ranged from like maybe 12 to 18, and we even had some rooming in there too. So, but they were just so excited, and it was a lot of their first time cooking. They didn't even know what some of the ingredients were. They were so open-minded, and they were just so breakable at the end. Like, I'm so glad I was at this class. And they wanted to take more classes. So, and then just me putting that out there, it's just had other people ask. We're like, hey, when's your next class? My grandson would love to come, or, my brother would love to come. Because I feel like it's not that many opportunities for them to even do that.
It's not. And that's dope that you're doing that. It shows what's up hurt. Well, like, I be talking to them fast. That's dope that you're doing that because it shows what type of heart that you had. And that's good. Yeah. You have a genuine spirit, and that's good. I could think.
Yeah, thank you.
So, these are my 2 last questions.
Okay.
How do you see your restaurant evolving over the next 5 years?
Over the next 5 years, I see my restaurant evolving more. Like, I like to tell people that we're more than just a restaurant. We're truly a brand. So we have, we're a restaurant on the weekends. We provide meal prep and catering. We provide classes. I'm also a content creator, sharing recipe with sharing knowledge. So overall, my goal is just to be able to have everybody access my stuff in different states so like my main goal is to be able to ship my meal preps across the United States. That would be something major because I have a lot of people out of state. It's just like, do you know any healthy companies here that do meal prep or that cook like you? And it's like, I don't. So like so many people from out of state ask me this all the time. So that's something that I'm working on now because I just believe like access to it, people are gonna, get into more. If it's not accessible, it's hard to get accessible. Like it's not, you're not gonna want to do it. So that's what I see. I just see myself expanding nationwide, all over, just being a household name. Like, yeah, Taste of Bria meals, like, it really helped me, and people just knowing that they could just rely on this to English and shit else.
No, that's better. No, that's dope. That's dope. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was telling you off camera, like, I don't see, like, you know, it's easy for somebody who be rare meat to, like, find, like, meal preps to get into their house. But what you got going on, you got mushrooms, chickpeas, and all different type of stuff. Yeah, that's not out there.
It's not.
And I believe by you doing that, you're going to change the game on that one.
I know I am. I feel it in my spirit. So all the research, like I'm gonna get there. That's the next big step. Like I said, I'm planning on moving here from here next year. So like once I get into my dream space, like I know the sky's gonna be the limit, and I can really do the things I want to do. Like I gotta just put the little stuff in place to get it going.
Definitely. And I said to ask you this earlier, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. And without the peep, by you talking, you constant busy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, how do you find time to have a self-care day? You're a mom, you're a business owner, I'm pretty sure, I'm not pretty sure, but you in a relationship. So like, how you have that time to get some me time?
So I really believe in balance. Like I am busy, but like I don't play about my free time. So people want to know why we only open one day. Like I said, I was having like staff problems, and it just became so much. So I'm just like, I only want to do that part one day and divide my other days to meal prep. And we're closed every Wednesday and Thursday. So nothing's happening those days unless I get a cater order or somebody wants to book a class. But like those are usually my 2 days that I have to myself. It's good. I don't believe in working long strenuous hours. Like I could be open every day. I could be open to 9, but like I want to have balance in my life and for my staff. Like too, they have kids and things too. Like it's just got to be some type of balance. So I feel like the money is always going to be there. I don't have to keep chasing and be open every day. Like you could still have balance, because like that's what's helping my mental health right now. So I really don't care. Not tell me like what everybody's thinking, or you should be open here. Like how are your restaurant and you're only open this one day? Like so
yeah, people would be saying this.
Yeah, but they don't understand like what really goes on behind the scenes. Like, I almost had a breakdown one point because I was in here trying to do everything, like because somebody didn't show up, and I was just like, no, I don't ever want to set my business up to the point where I'm losing myself, and I don't want to get to the point where I don't like it. So we got those 2 days off after body Wednesdays and Thursdays. I usually do like some self-care stuff or go work out. That's self-care to me.
Right.
But yeah, and I plan to keep it like that. Even when I have my dream restaurant, like we open. We're gonna be open more days, but like I'm still gonna have like at least 2 days to myself.
Hey, got to, and that's good that you're not being anxious, because most people will work themselves to be anxious, and I'm a victim to that. Even with this podcast, where I be wanting to interview 30 people one day, but I gotta carry a balance. But for you being patient, and I believe that these come to those who wait, and see you doing that.
Yeah.
And this is my last question on the ask. Anybody who want to step into the entrepreneur field, what is your advice for them?
My biggest advice would just be to have a passion for what you're trying to do. I agree to that, because that's gonna save you every single time. Like I said, it's time. That one moment I had where I'm just like questioning everything, but like I'm like, I love this too much to just walk away.
Yeah.
I just love to cook. Like I just love to teach, and that's a lot of things that I love about it. So it outweighed the bad that could have came any day. Even if everybody walked out now, it was just me. Like I'm still gonna keep going because I just have a passion for what I do. So that would be the number one thing. And also, like you said, to have patience. Don't feel like everything has to be trying to be perfect in the beginning, because it's all going to work out. Like, as long as you follow your path, because if you would have told me back then I would be here, like, I probably wouldn't have believed it. But, I just kept being consistent. So patience, consistency, and passion.
I can dig that. And do you believe all this was worth it?
Yes, absolutely. 100% worker. It's not a day I don't think it's not.
Yeah, see, I can't wait to be in your position, because, like, I still work a 9 to 5, and, like, I'm using that money to fund my podcast. I have a plan with this podcast, and I felt a lot of entrepreneurs, and they, same thing you had said, like they think it's worth it. They love doing it. They got the freedom, but they do tell me like the cons of it when things get slow. But for me, I'm like, I would deal with that. work for somebody, tell me what I can and can't do.
That I be thinking about that too. Like, I'm gonna go back and let them tell me, like, nah, you'd rather deal with your own problems. You know what I'm saying? And so do that. So
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's all the questions I have. I want to say thank you for this opportunity. I see big things coming your way, and whatever I can do to help, please help. I want to see you win. You have a good, genuine spirit, and I love that. So
thank you. This was great. This was so amazing. I look forward to seeing more episodes. I know your podcast about to blow up, so let's keep going for real. This is dope. So I'm just blessed to be a part of it.
oh, thank you. What's up? What's up?